Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, subscribe is the vibe. Your boy's on the road to 5K. Humbly. The like button is like, the subscribe button is earned. We got 10 of the most emotional NBA moments that forever changed the game. Damn. Oh, we about to get heavy. We about to get heavy. I'm not gonna hold you, gang. Before we even get to this video, my number one is probably everybody else's number one. I know people come and go and people die every single day, B, but I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. Man, ain't nothing like losing Kobe. I don't know, man. Like, I know we've lost Bill Russell, we've lost the commissioner, players have come and players have died. If you would have told me that the Black Mamba would have lost his life in the 40s, a couple of years after retirement, I would have been like, yeah. Kobe is one of those guys that created an aura of just leadership, determination, focus, killer mentality that you just kind of felt like he was invincible. Ain't no way you would have told me Kobe wouldn't have died at an old age, bro. But nonetheless, I can remember the shock, the pain, the hurt. Everybody was stunned. Everybody, like, that just kind of ruined everybody's year, bro. Even if you weren't a fan of the NBA and you were just a casual, I think no matter how long I live, Kobe's passing will forever be top 3 most stunning losses of all time. And I know I have plenty of life to live, and I know catastrophic things happen every single day. We're surrounded by chaos, but in my book, there's very few losses that affects everybody's life at one time, like Kobe Bryant. But we got the 10 most emotional moments. Please don't get emotional. None on my watch, man. Like, forever Mamba.
NBA legend lost a friend to cancer, and in response, he forced overtime and won the game. Then another legend told the world he hated the NBA for what they had done to him. These are the emotional NBA moments that made history. Number 10. All right, listen up. Let me spin you a tale about a player whose journey went from boom to doom in the blink of an eye.
Damn, D Rose was
the
something
basketball
special, bro.
world still can't help but wonder what might have been if things hadn't gone south for this superstar.
Oh my
Let's talk about Derrick Rose, the dude who burst onto the NBA scene like a shooting star. Seriously, this guy had more talent than a puppy chasing his tail. He was the #1 draft pick for the Chicago Bulls, who hadn't tasted success since the days of his heiress, Michael Jordan. And boy, did Rose seem poised to bring them back to the glory days. He kicked off his career with a bang, winning the Rookie of the Year title in his debut season. Then, like a boss, he became an all-star the very next season. And just when you thought he couldn't get any cooler, he goes ahead and snags the NBA MVP award in his 3rd season. Talk about
Bro snatched the MVP award away from a LeBron James of Miami in his prime. To this day, I still don't know how he got it, but it goes to show you just the type of projection that Derrick Rose was on before that knee injury. This man was something we haven't seen in a long time, bro. Just that athleticism, that burst, and the Chicago Bulls was running the East for all intents and purposes. They couldn't see Miami, but man, #1 seed, you can hang your hat on that, bro.
About a rise to stardom. Naturally, the Bulls were like, yo, Derrick, you're the bomb. They showered him with a mega contract so massive that the NBA had to create a freaking salary cap rule named after the guy. It was like he had the world at his fingertips and nobody could stop him. And then, boom, it all came crashing down after he tore his ACL in the 2012 playoffs.
Now holding a knee late in a game that is already decided for all intents and purposes.
Rose went from being a regular onto the court to having several visits to the hospital. Even when he looked like he had recovered, he was sent back again. More surgeries, more therapy, more bad news. Then it became even worse when the Bulls, who he had given his all, dumped him.
Traded him.
You lying. Yeah.
You would think Rose hit rock bottom, but that was just the beginning of his downward spiral. Towards the end of the season, Rose had his 4th knee surgery in 9 years. Every stint he got with the new team was injury-ridden as he put up mediocre numbers, begging to be half the player he once was. But when he landed in Minnesota after being waived by the Jazz, the former MVP and overall 1st-round pick like his last name rose out of the rubble of a tumultuous last few years to put on a show of a lifetime.
The stop, the go, the finish, 46 for Rose. 50, a half a century for
a career-high 50-point game
bro.
against a team that waved him off at the beginning of the season. After all those injuries and those years of disappointment, Derrick Rose was still reaching new heights, and it sure did mean a lot to him and to everybody in the league.
Everything, man. I worked my ass off, bro.
His tears barely allowed him to finish the post-game interview, but at least he was happy by the time the buzzer sounded, unlike the next player. Number 9. Alright, picture this.
Number 10 was heavy.
The Jazz and the Nuggets going head-to-head in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. But wait, it wasn't just a regular basketball game, it was a full-on battle between Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell. These dudes were on fire, I'm telling you. Game 4 of the series went down in the record books. Why, you ask? Well, because Murray and Mitchell decided to flex their skills and drop over 50 points each. That's right, they pulled off a historic feat that had jaws dropping all over the place. But here's the kicker, my friends. By the time the series ended, they smashed yet another record. They racked up a mind-boggling 475 points combined, making them the highest scoring pair of opposing players in NBA series history. Talk about putting on a show. But hey, life can be cruel, and only one of these superstars could move on to the next round. And guess what? It wasn't our buddy Donovan Mitchell. Poor guy gave it his all, but sometimes
Mitchell
luck just isn't on your side.
He is a problem.
Can you imagine the heartbreak? Mitchell, completely crushed and disappointed, collapsed on the floor, feeling the weight of the loss. Even Murray knew Mitchell had given his all and made him work for the win. That's why when he saw him on the ground, he went to encourage him. Talk about game recognizing game. Mitchell's pain came from leaving the playoffs, but this next person was more than happy to make it there. Number 8. Patrick Beverly's story isn't a happy one. In fact, it's one of betrayal and redress. A modern basketball retelling of Hamlet, if you will. Beverly is the type of person to let his mind be known, and when the Clippers felt he didn't deserve the pay he demanded, he took it personally and demanded a trade. He landed in Minnesota, where fate brought him against his former team, the Clippers, in the play-in tournament. It was the classic tale of an old friend turned foe, an individual seeking to prove to the world and himself that the Clippers were wrong for letting him go.
Picked up by Beverly, and that's all she wrote. The Timberwolves are going to the playoffs.
I promise you, this is not a movie plot. This really happened in the NBA, in front of his family and the Minnesota fans. The Timberwolves beat the Clippers, and from Patrick Beverly's celebration, you could swear he just won the chip. Okay, but wait, who the heck put Aloe Black's song on Pat Bev crying? Because the internet isn't forgetting that one soon. Anyway,
they were on their ass for that one, bro. Like, yo, bro, you won a playoff game and you took out the Clippers. It wasn't even the best of 7. It was one game. Don't let history make y'all forget it was just one game. They took out the Clippers in the last game of the season. Timberwolves went on to the playoffs just to lose in the first round. So, okay, it's not like he became a champion after all this.
Perhaps vindication meant more to him than an NBA ring. I guess some things really are bigger than basketball, and this next emotional moment also proves just that. Number 7. Before the Greek Freak won MVP of the league twice in a row, he faced many criticisms from everyone, especially sports analysts.
He's not the MVP. To me, when you talk MVP, that means you're the most valuable player on the team.
Anybody listens to Ryan Hollins ever, you're not allowed to talk sports with me. You're not allowed to talk sports with me. This man has some of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life, bro. And this is why I always kind of separate myself from speaking to like fans or casuals. Because if you don't really know the game, or if you're just talking bullshit based off of your emotions or whatnot, I'm good on you, bro. I'm good on you. This dude, Ryan Hollins, I don't know how you got a job working at the front. Like,
this man is right now, he's the most overrated in basketball.
But they forgot that Giannis is a buck, and we all know bucks have thick skin. And even when the words of the hateful critics get to him, he just converts them into motivation. Want to know the words that really get to him and make him all emotional? They are those that come from his loved ones. And that's why when he eventually showed the world how good he is by winning the first MVP, he couldn't control his emotions. While he showered gratitude on the Milwaukee fans and his family, there was one who broke him to bits. His late father, Charles Adetokounmpo, who died of a heart attack 2 years before that day.
Every day that I step on the floor, I always think about my dad, and that motivates me and it pushes me to play harder.
If that didn't have you teary-eyed and move you to subscribe to this channel, this next story will. Number 6.
The New Orleans Pelicans select Zion Williamson from
Zion might have been picked first at the 2019 NBA draft, but that's only because someone else put him first before herself. Sharonda Anderson is Zion's mom, and for Zion, she is the epitome of what it means when they say, not all heroes wear a cape. This is why he got so overwhelmed with feelings when he became the first pick that he let his tears speak more than his words did.
She always looked out for the family first before herself. She put her dream.
That little boy don't even know how rich his brother just became. Like, he don't even know what's going. Like, bro, you are on a platform that very few get to walk on. Very few. Like, 1 in every 1 million gets to walk on. He is the first overall pick. Man, this kid ain't nothing but, what, 8 years old? And his life is straight.
Dreams aside from mine.
Zion's journey to the NBA may have been a long one, but he has a whole new endeavor in the NBA to embark on. Unlike this next person who had one of the most depressing ends to an NBA career.
Hey!
Number 5. Everybody loved Jeremy Lin, especially the city of New York, where he brought Linsanity to the city. He gave the people of New York something to look forward to and to believe in.
I ain't gonna
puts it up, puts it in. Jeremy Lin off.
But Jeremy Lin had to fight all his life. Lin was undrafted despite being a first-team Ivy League twice and only made it to the NBA through Summer League. When his big break finally came through the legend of Linsanity, it didn't last. Jeremy Lin loved the NBA, but the NBA didn't give two hoots about him. At least, not for long. Politics within player ranks led to Lin getting drafted, and if the Knicks couldn't keep Jeremy Lin after all he did for them, nobody would. Hopping between 8 teams in less than a decade, it was clear that nobody wanted Jeremy Lin. That's why at a public event where he spoke, he couldn't help but break down in tears.
Man, it's hard. 真的好难. Life is hard. 人生真的好艰. In some ways, the NBA is kind of giving up on me. I would have to talk about a championship that I don't feel like I really earned.
Then he dropped a major bomb when he said if he had a son, he wouldn't want him to play in the NBA.
I always tell myself if I have a son, I don't want him to make the NBA. You don't have to deal with fame.
I mean, that's just crazy. Hashtag cancel the NBA, right? Okay, maybe not today. Today, let's see the story of a guy whose NBA career has been ruined by nagging injuries, but has not lost his heart of gold. Number 4, the kids love John Wall, and he loves them just as much. And with the way he gets gifts for them like it's Christmas, he is going to put Santa out of business someday. So you better up your game, Santa.
And I decided to take him on a little Christmas shopping spree to get some toys.
You can count on Wall to put a smile on the face of a kid who needs one. That's why when he heard about a 6-year-old leukemia patient named Maya, he made it his mission to make her the happiest girl in the world. He spent time with her on and off the court, and if you didn't know better, you would think that they were family. But then the thing everyone fears the most happened. In the morning before the Wizards game against the Celtics, Maya passed away. That night, Wall wore Rip Maya written on his sneakers and was on fire on the court. He forced double overtimes and scored 26 points within 17 assists on his way to victory over the Celtics. All John could think about was his buddy that wasn't with him anymore.
The game for me, this is for Maya.
I remember this game too.
One of my close friends I lost it, I met last year. And,
when asked about how she touched his heart, John couldn't help but let down the waterworks.
She really touched your heart, didn't she? Buck, obviously, John's very emotional, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Wall could never forget Maya, even if he wanted to. And even after she's gone, he continues to honor her. He released an exclusive colorway of his shoe in remembrance of Maya, and he is still in contact with her family today. But while Wall played through the sorrows of losing someone who was like a little sister to him, one player played through actually losing a sister. Number 3, for someone below 6 feet, it's hard to imagine Isaiah Thomas playing.
I get there are moments that are like bigger than the game, and sometimes you gotta lay on the game for like motivation and shit like that, but I ain't gonna front. This story right here, probably the craziest story I've ever heard or seen, man. This dude, the day his sister died in a car accident, played in a game in the NBA, bro. Like the day of. Not even a week ago, not even the night before, the same day, bro. You know what I mean? And Boston violated Isaiah Thomas after this, like, and moved him. Like, this was the season he was due for like $100 million contract. He was supposed to be set for life. He's playing hurt. He's playing on behalf of his sister passing away. And Boston didn't, I ain't gonna front, Boston did him wrong.
In the NBA, let alone dominating it. But he's always had a strong mentality. Yet even the strong-willed has a breaking point. A fatal car crash took the life of China Thomas, Isaiah's little sister, leaving the point guard in a pool of his tears.
From earlier today on the floor at the Garden in Boston, Isaiah Thomas consoled by his close friend Avery Bradley, still trying to cope with the tragic loss of his 22-year-old sister China just yesterday.
But he honored his sister in a way she would have wanted him to, by playing basketball and playing it well. In the game, the day after her passing, Isaiah laced up his shoes with "China, I love you" written on them. Then he went on to drop 33 points against the Bulls like nothing happened. But that wouldn't be the only time Isaiah would cry. Bro. His injuries have led to teams doubting his ability to play. This has resulted in him getting traded here and there, getting waived for a few times, and sometimes only a 10-day contract was the best thing he could get. That's why when he broke a few ankles and dropped 81 points at crossover in Seattle, it didn't make him feel any better, knowing he was this good, but still not getting treated better.
Gave up on me. They gave up on me.
Thomas' heartbreaking career end is enough to make you sick to your stomach, especially the fact that he could never make it back to prove himself. But sometimes some wrongs can be made right, and LeBron is here to prove just that. Number 2, when LeBron left the Cleveland Cavaliers to join the Miami Heat, he went from hometown hero to public enemy number 1. LeBron did want to win a ring at Cleveland, but the organization didn't do anything to change the mediocre players LeBron was with. So when he left for Miami and won 2 rings, it really left Cleveland bitter. So when a kid from Akron, Ohio returned home in 2014, he had nothing but one goal: to give Cleveland their first championship.
Thing of beauty.
Did he do it? You bet your butt he did.
Thing of beauty.
I set out a goal 2 years when I came back to bring a championship to the city. Cleveland, this is for you. Oh!
I don't think I ever seen a sweeter fairy tale ending, man. Or have you? You know what? Don't answer that, because none of it mattered after we lost the Black Mamba.
5-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash.
CNN is
damn. Whew. Damn, man, it's still heavy hearing that as a news report, bro. Like, what? What? A helicopter crash, bro. What? Not just but 5 people. Oh, man.
Able to tell you now that NBA star Kobe Bryant was on board that helicopter and is now dead at the age of 41.
Number 1, we are all still recovering from the shock of losing the great Kobe Bryant. So forgive me for opening up the wounds again. Nevertheless, this is just a way of honoring a legend once more. Nothing could have prepared anybody for the devastating update on January 25th, 2020. The world was at a literal standstill. Games on the day and after the incident started with either a 24-second shot clock or an 8-second backcourt violation. Players also wore sneakers with farewell messages written on them. His memorial service was on the 24th of February, a nod to his jersey number and that of his daughters. Tributes were made to him across the world, even in other sports and industries, a testament to just how great of a person Kobe Bryant was. But the tributes didn't end there. As fate would have it, the Lakers won the championship of 2020. And guess who the players dedicated it to?
You know, all we want to do is do it for him, and we didn't let him down.
A year later, Kobe was posthumously inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame, where his wife, Vanessa, gave a speech that probably will not be forgotten for as long as the NBA still exists.
Congratulations, baby. All of your hard work and sacrifices paid off. You did it. You're in the Hall of Fame now. You're a true champ. I love you forever and always. Kobe Bean Bryant.
If you shed a tear or two because of this video, man, I got just the right one to lift your spirits back up.
Not gonna hold you, bro. It's crazy too, because there's a lot of greats that I didn't grow up watching. I missed out on the Magics, the Mikes, the Isaiahs, the Larrys. But Kobe was my era. Kobe was my world. And I could remember, like, you know, you crumple up a piece of ball and throw it into a trash can, you yelling out, Kobe. You know what I mean? That was the trend. Like, even before I even understood the sport of basketball, I knew who Kobe Bryant was. And then you would watch it, and, you know, we always had this thing where we would troll Kobe, like, yo, Kobe's the only one taking shots. Kobe don't pass the ball. But, man, like, who else would you trust with the ball in their hand in final seconds? You would play 2K, and the only person you would shoot the ball with is Kobe. So it's like, I couldn't even blame him in real life. You know, but, like, to be an all-time great, the respect and admiration I have for Kobe is the fact that I was never even a fan of him when he was playing. He destroyed all my favorite teams. Kobe destroyed my Suns. He destroyed my Celtics. Like, it's every single time I had a team that I wanted to make it to the championship, Kobe somehow found a way to get in the way. And the older you got, the more respect you got, because it's just like, yo, this guy ain't even a bad guy. He's just so great that he makes you almost want to hate him because he's so great. But personally, you have nothing but respect for this man. All time great. I knew he was gonna be number one. How could he not be? I mean, like, we're still recovering. Like, it's Mamba season forever. I can't say that it doesn't feel real because it's been some time, but I hate the fact that it feels real. And that's why I dedicate all my videos and I say Mamba out, because it's like, got to keep that man's name alive. Everything he represented, you know, whether you play sports or not, like, if you just work, you understand what the Mamba mentality is. If you're striving for something, you understand what the Mamba mentality is. It's not just a ball thing, it's a lifestyle thing. It's focus, determination, hard work, waking up early, making no excuses, and grinding, bro. Everybody has the potential for the Black Mamba mentality, and, you know, damn. RP Kobe, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Woo, that was a heavy video, man. But leave in the comment section what you thought should have been number one or what your order was. But for me, it's always gonna be Mamba. Highlight you guys in the next video. Mamba out.